Hey everybody, today I'm going to be talking about the yoke and how to pick that thing up. So as you can see from that video, I'm back to lifting weights. Very exciting news for myself. Hopefully that's exciting news for anybody watching this too, because I'll be able to get back on a regular schedule. I know I was originally doing 2 videos a week, and I still want to do that. It was just tough the past couple weeks because I wanted to put out a mix, like videos like this, or the farmer carry one, Zercher squat one. More informative and tutorial-based videos, along with the ones that are just talking about more of theory and program planning and stuff like that too. So it was a little bit tough when I couldn't really do any exercises. It would have been way too boring if I did tutorials on how to use like the leg extension. So yeah, I was slacking off on the videos a little bit, trying to just do once a week, trying to still put stuff out there for you guys with what I could do. But yeah, it looks like back in business now. Can't use my shoulder too much, but I'm back to being able to do a little bit with it. And today was the first time I used a yoke in probably more than a month, and I was super fired up about it. Hit a PR for myself. Yeah, in that video, if my math is right, it was 540, so that's pretty exciting. Yeah, so anyway though, getting to the important stuff, the yoke. Now, if you've seen any strongman events, the yoke is basically guaranteed to be a part of it. It usually is. It's super impressive at the high levels because people put on like 1,000 pounds on their back. It's insane. And yeah, there's a couple ways to go about it. You could go for, just like with any of these strongman exercises that I'm usually telling you guys about, either going for speed or for strength of maxing out. Now both have some really awesome benefits. So now just in general though, whether you're going heavier or lighter, the yoke, what that's going to work is basically everything. Now I know I also say that with a lot of these strongman movements, but all of them basically hit everything but have one area that's slightly favored. Yeah, like the farmer carries, for example, that's going to work everything, but a lot of traps, upper back too. Sandbag, it's going to work everything, but that's a lot of squeezing, upper back, arms, going to work the chest on that even too with the squeeze. So it's good to have it balanced. Something I like about the yoke so much is that one, more than anything else, I feel that a lot in the core. And the core, I know that's kind of like a buzzword, but so what I mean with that, it's going to work everything down your spine, which mostly people see me doing that. I get guys at the gym all the time, and they're like laughing at me like, dude, you're going to break your back. That's exactly what this is preventing. Going to build a strong back, going to build an iron back, because just to be able to be upright under the yoke, even if the one I have, when it's empty, it's 80 pounds, just to be able to hold that, you're going to be working everything from right in your traps all the way down to your glutes, every single muscle to keep good posture. That's the goal there. But then also in that, you have to have the abs and whole stomach area pushed out, braced, to counteract the force of the back pulling back. You can't go all the way back, so you need to brace it going forward too, because that weight's trying to crush you, basically. It doesn't want you to carry it. So you want to have start from the top here. The technique, now I tried to put some of those videos, if you want to rewind to the little highlight of my workout from today. I tried to do some of them more side-on view, so you could see the technique that I'm doing. It's just too loud in the gym to try to talk to you guys on the camera. So going over to that, if you want to rewind it and actually see me doing it. So when you get under it, it's basically like like you're getting ready to do a squat. You want to make your traps touch in the back, like you're holding a piece of paper between them. Really squeezing back as hard as you can. That's also gonna flex your traps, give that big bar something to dig in on, because it's not gonna feel good if it's right on your spine. So you want to have it rest on the muscle there. Now, starting from that position, right? Also, shoulders touching behind your back, shoulder blades touching, and head looking forward. If you start to go down, that thing's just going to slide down. So you want to kind of create a cradle on the back of your neck for this thing, between your traps and your neck. Then moving down the body with your hands now. Now, it depends on the size of your yoke. Now, you can actually have it like a back squat with your arms up here. I much prefer on the actual frame, the part that goes down, you'll see in the video. But now from there, I want to actively push forward when this thing's lifted up. Couple benefits for that. Big one is that it engages the lats really a lot. Like, you could even do this without any weight. If you just have your arm out and turn your pinky in, kind of turn your elbow in like that, that's how you flex your lats right there. So you want to have that force going against the frame of the yoke. So this one, you know, we're only at the very top half, and you can see there's a lot of steps, so it just takes practice. But shoulders back, arms pushing forward, lats engaged. Also, that forward push is going to engage the chest too a little bit. So basically everything from here up is already in action. So then from there, getting to the abs, want to push out, power belly, just like I was saying on the video of on how to get strong abs. Want to brace forward, pushing the abs out like you're trying to bust the button off your pants, keeping all those flexed and tight. And then also, though, it's very easy to run into the problem when you start to move with this thing that your hips just want to go out and dip forward. So you also have to constantly have your glutes flexed to keep your hips under. And with that, right, so abs tight, glutes, keeping your hips under you, keeping everything in line. And then from there, you're walking. So gotta flex the glutes on each step, all that good stuff. So it's constant tension from head to toe, which is really, really great. And since the weight's trying to crush you, I feel it mostly in my core. Yeah, because now the cool thing, right? So that's how you'll pick it up, right? You're going to need all that engaged. You want to get under it with your feet, the distance apart that you're going to be walking. Ideally, you want to have your feet kind of like they're on a railroad track at a set point, whichever your normal stride is that you're going to be walking on this thing. That's how you want to start with your feet. It's going to create too much imbalance if you start with your feet close to pick it up and then have to move it wide and then start going, or the opposite, if you start wide to pick it up and then have to move them closer. So want to just practice picking it up and being able to just go right away. Now also, when you start walking, a huge thing that's going to help you out is that frame has momentum to it. much like the farmer handles, how when they get that little bit of a tilt going forward, you'll feel it pull you forward. Same thing happens with the yoke. As soon as you start to pick it up and take that first step, the whole frame is going to have momentum on it. Especially when it gets heavy, you're going to actually not even at the lighter weights, the warm-up weights, it starts to swing as soon as you take a step. So with everything and all that tension, you want to use your hands to follow that momentum. You'll feel it. It's kind of like the feeling like catching a wave. You'll feel it as you take that first step and the whole frame starts to push forward, starts to swing forward, and you just catch it and ride that wave and quick steps all the way there, quick shuffly feet. Just like on the farmer walks, the higher and the longer that your feet are off the ground, the more imbalanced it's going to be. So you want those little shuffly, choppy steps. That's going to be big for you. And try to use that momentum with you. That's something I really like working speed rounds for. So speed rounds on my yoke, if I have something like 45s on it, that'll be, that's like, I'm the worst at math. I think that's like 260, something like that. Great weight for working speed and just trying to get comfortable with getting that momentum, because it's light enough where if it's on my shoulders I could push it with my hands a little bit, so you could really exaggerate the momentum and get the feeling for when you are moving up, and really trying to run with that thing, but still those choppy steps. You don't want to actually stride with the thing. And yeah, so with that, it's going to work everything, you know. It's full body tension, like I was just saying, and working speed. This one's great for conditioning. I really love it. If you keep it in like around that 200 mark, depending on how big you are, I'm not the biggest guy, but around that 200 mark and running with it, like usually a lot of times I'll do like, it's like 50-foot sprints with it, going back and forth, full tension, awesome for conditioning. Or like I was going today, going for singles, going nice and heavy. Now that one's cool because you get the time under tension. You really can't let any body part slack off. Because I've felt failures before on these, posted them on my Instagram. If anything in that whole chain going from your traps all the way to the glutes, if any of that eases up on the tension, you're going to drop it. Like, for example, if my whole back is flexed but my abs aren't, I'm just going to cave in, or I'm going to go right back. If the glutes aren't squeezed, hips aren't under you, that thing's going to come right forward. Any of that, if the traps aren't working, it's going to slide right down your back. So everything has to be engaged. It forces you to do it right, really, or else you're not going to be able to put any weight on the bar. And yeah, so this one, why I think it's good for athletes, basically for all the reasons I was just saying. Awesome for conditioning, awesome for full body strength. It's going to hit everything at once. And it's a really fun one too, because this one, it's, you don't have to do any big range of motion with it, and the weight is resting on your back. So you can normally, this is one where you could really load up the frame and really have a lot of weight on it too. So it's also just really fun. I mean, who doesn't want to lift? Like, I would probably guarantee everyone could lift more doing this than any other exercise, most likely, unless there's some real imbalances or something. So that's always a good time too. But yeah, there's just so many ways to work this one. So now for the actual frame though, the one I have is from Strength Shop. It's a good frame. It's their lighter one. It's only 80 pounds, about 80 pounds for the whole frame. I really like it because it's light enough where at the gym, at Crunch where I am, It's easy to take down, maneuver around, because I can't just leave it set up. So it's good having something a little bit more lightweight, portable. It's just a couple big screws in there. But if you're at a gym where you can't get one of those, strongman equipment's a little pricey. This one's a couple $100s. Something that I've used before and I was also a big fan of was chain yoke. So the chain yoke is basically a attachment for a barbell, where you put the barbell on your back, and it's like a collar with a chain, and then a barbell like the end, a pin to put the weights on at the bottom. Now the cool thing with that is that it's on a chain, so it's very unstable. Yeah, that chain wants to swing even independently. They want to swing if you're off balance. So that one's a big challenge, but less money, more portable. The only thing I would recommend with that though is that having some heavy weight and just digging into your traps can be a little tough. So when we were using that one, we would put a couple of fat grips on the neck to ease that a little bit. The fat grips were nice. Makes it a little bit more similar to like the fat yoke neck part there. Yeah, yokes are awesome. So go try them out. Have fun with it. Hit me up with any questions. Chain yokes or the regular frame. It's all a good time. Highly recommend all of it. All right. And yes, I'll be now that I could actually work out a little bit, do some fun stuff. I'll be coming out with more videos too. So I'll see you guys next week.